Hello, Club Culture family. If you are on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell. And if you're on your favorite streaming platform, thank you for tuning in and make sure you leave us a rating. This is episode 45. I got my boy Isaac here with me.
I already know the deal.
I got my man Jay in the back.
Yo, what's up?
You know, big sexy T here. Isaac, talk to me, man. What you been up to?
Man, I've been working. Physical therapy school been rough. Other than that, I got my new baby out. So
that sound like an album. I got my new baby out. You know,
new baby out. So I'm just my first kid. So it's new fatherhood. So
yeah,
territory for me.
Yeah, man.
New territory.
How's it to be a fresh new father?
Okay, when they tell you no sleep,
no
sleep is real. Okay,
no sleep.
Because it's just that inconsistent sleeping schedule a little bit. But like as he's getting older now, and we're going on 3 months next week, he's been sleeping a lot more.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's been a lot of fun. But it's learning as you go. It's not just like that off the bat. And the hospital was teaching us prior to that before he got released. So everything for that was I'm just learning as we go on. So.
How's Gigi? How's the mother? Gigi's been.
That's my superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gigi's my superhero. Holding the fort down with me at school.
Yeah.
Holding the fort down with. We have 2 cats, the baby, and she's basically home by herself right now until I get home from school. And she take care of me, the baby, and everything just because I'm in school. So that's my superhero. I give her a lot of credit right now.
Shout out Gigi.
Yeah, shout out to my boo thing.
So when you learned that you were a father, what was your first reaction?
I was excited. So what was funny, I was thinking because I got my podcast. So like right before like episode 5, I had just got home from work and she looked at me and I was just like nervous. And like she told me right before the podcast started, and I'm
now
like,
why the fuck she do that?
Hey, yeah, okay, she did mess me up because the entire podcast, my mind was just stuck, and I'm just looking at her throughout the whole podcast.
Come on, Gigi.
And I'm like, man, I'm really about to be a father the entire episode.
Yeah.
But I was just excited just because I was just looking for something because at that time I was going through a lot. Just with like losing my sister earlier that past year, but that was just like a pick me up, like a whole boost because now it's like I'm not grinding for myself and G no more. I'm grinding for somebody who's really dependent on me now. Yeah, so.
All right, Isaac, we're going to get you together because on your podcast, you typically have your mic like this.
Yeah, it's hard for me, y'all. I'm sorry.
You got to keep it here with you. You feel me?
All right.
Get comfortable. We locked in. We just going to have a conversation today. So your podcast is mainly a sports podcast.
Yes. So we got Action Podcasts also on TikTok, Apple Music, and Spotify. It just started off with me just want to talk sports with guys, like my guys. And then me and my best friend Danny came together and was like, we can do this.
That's not very inclusive.
Well, I wanted anybody, but I was talking to anybody at the time, but I just wanted to chop sports with everybody. That's my thing. I like just talking sports. And when he did that, he started setting everything up with like Spreaker and everything. And then we found our 2 friends, Vitor and Christian, who went to college with him. And things just kicked off from that day. So we got all the equipment, and then all we do is just talk sports, any type of sports, you name it. So wide range is NBA, MLB, NFL.
So do you like have a membership to see every sport?
So I do have a membership to watch all NFL and NBA games.
Yeah.
MLB, I'm slowly getting into it. So baseball is mostly like Christian and Vitor's thing and Danny's thing, and that's me just chiming in at that point. But when it's the other sports, I'm like locked in and loaded with those.
So when they start talking baseball, you like, damn, for real?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, you pay attention. Like, you'll see my involvement in the beginning of the episode, and we switch to baseball. My involvement like drops off a little bit, and that's just because I'm slowly learning the game, and that's because I felt like the game was too slow to start. So now I'm watching it now with the new rules and stuff, and it's been a little bit more interesting. The game's a lot more faster for me. So I'm like, I could do this. So this year, the last couple episodes, I've been a little bit better, but baseball was not my favorite sport walking into this.
Yeah, I learned when I was watching, I think, Rob Parker on The Breakfast Club, he said, like, the bases are larger.
Bases are larger.
And the pitcher get less time.
Pitchers get less time and batters get less time.
Okay.
So they can't keep taking timeouts to, like, get, like, fixed gloves and everything. Pitchers don't have this time to keep, like, setting their feet, think about every pitch they want to throw. And, like, games finishing in 2 hours compared to, like, 3 to 4 they used to be. So, and I could take that a lot compared to 3 to 4 hours. I just felt like the game wasn't going fast enough.
So the The connection that me and Isaac have is that we both went to the same college, graduated from the same college as well. You know, got to make sure you put that in. And so that's where we met each other. Talk a little bit about your experience at Dominican University.
Man,
coming in as a freshman, black man.
Shout out to DU, but so coming in as a freshman, I think I was like, I ain't gonna say cocky, just because I was coming from a program where I basically was molded to who I was as a player and as a person. And that was St. Patrick High School, so they molded me a lot. So I was just looking for somewhere where I could change the narrative. And when I got recruited to stay Dominican, it was just about, we need guys who could rebound, do this. And my dad was sitting there like, I already do these things. So it was just like, but when I hear a record of like we 5-25 or 5-20 before I'm coming in, I'm like, we could change that. And okay, later did I know I couldn't change that. But yeah, that's what my mindset was walking in my freshman year. But then I was just meeting the guys as we got there, and I really thought we could. Yeah. We go a little bit deeper, but I just feel like
we care a little bit.
Yeah, we go a little deeper, but other than that, I was just looking to change the narrative as I got there and just trying to do something special by the time I left that 4 years.
So what other options did you have outside of DU to hoop and go to school?
So when I first started, like those freshman, sophomore years, before I injured like 10 my meniscus in my junior year and senior year, I had some D1 offers just sitting there ready to go because I was playing really well at AAU. But then I stopped playing AAU because the doctor was basically like, okay, you overdoing it with your body. So I quit AAU. So I lost all those D1 offers. And then I went to it like one day in Waukegan, like a combine in a sense, and played there. And then Dominican hit me up right there and then. So I had Dominican and Wabash, and at that time I didn't know anything about Division III schools. Yeah. And I just knew my brother went to Dominican. I was like, all right, there it goes. I know Coach White. So I'm like, all right, we're going to see play for him. So
it was an easy decision for you after you stopped playing AAU.
Yep, easy decision because it was like my first couple offers started rolling in, and I was like, it's easier for me to stay here, and I feel like this is a narrative that I'm craving for in a sense to change, and that's why I went there.
Okay, well, shit. Do you have any regrets with that decision to go to DU and hoop there?
Yes. I think because it didn't click for me until my senior year on what kind of player I could be. But I also do think it's the people I had in the locker room with me at that time to believe in me a little bit more. But also, I do feel like it was just a lot of egos with the guys I played with. So in order for us to, I felt like I played with a lot of talent, but it was just so many egos that talent would never mesh.
So we kind of talked about the man's ego throughout some episodes on this podcast. Yep. And I personally think that ego is one of the number one reasons why relationships and people can't maintain relationships, right? So you telling me that from your freshman year to your senior year, y'all probably won like what? 15 games. That's 25 games a season. So 15 out of 100.
Yeah. So
because of ego.
I would say that. I would say my first 2 years, more ego. No. First year was all ego. Sophomore year, I just think we just had this thing of just trying to defend home court. So it was like all our egos meshed in terms of like, all right, let's not lose at home. So we never won a road game, but we won all the home games, which how we squeaked into the playoffs. Then we fell right back to the ego thing. And then senior year was just a group of guys who like, once the guys who had all the egos started peeling off throughout the year, and we had a group of guys who was literally trying to play for the guy to the left and to the right of them, to where we was fighting for a spot down the stretch, but it was just too late at that rate. Yeah. So just a lot of egos up and down. It was like, it's gonna be my way or the highway, or give me the ball, we gonna win this way. And it was like calling people, it was a lot going on in that locker room that shouldn't have been going on to me.
Yeah, we'll talk about your infamous locker room incident. So, outside of hooping at Dominican, what are some things that you feel like you gain or lack holistically as a person for choosing to go to that school?
So I would say, like I was telling, when it clicked for me more my seniors, when I think I started putting things together, it was the confidence thing. Because it was like when you get surrounded to me by so many egos and you trying to make everything work, I feel like you take some time to like, I don't want to say put yourself on the back burner, but you try to like make everything work for everybody else, and then I feel like you forget about yourself in the process. And you understand that all right, you just as talented too, so and you can do X, Y, and Z, so believe in yourself just as much as other people is believing with you, because I feel like the students believed in me more than some of my teammates. So, but I had a lot of teammates who was like, I need you to do this, so I could believe in you this, but my goal was like, I need our egos to match. I can't be thinking about myself. I need to find a way to get us to all click together in a sense. And that's where I think, well, I could have been better with my confidence off the bat, but that's been an issue for me since I've been in high school. So
talk a little bit about that, because, you know, season 3 is about accountability. And so we holding each other accountable, holding ourselves accountable, and holding others accountable, right? So what are, you say confidence, your confidence since high school.
Yeah.
What do you think played a part with you lacking confidence in self?
I ain't gonna lie. My brother was a talented basketball player. And my dad was, to me, is one of the best coaches I still play for to this day. But when my brother showed me the game and tried to help me get better after playing for my dad all the way up into 8th grade, it's rough because you watch your brother from all the way up until that time put up 60 points at De La Salle. You watch him go for 40 against people. You watch him play Shannon Brown and these guys, and he's like dominating. But then I can't score like 4 against like top competition, but I can go get 30 the next night against weak competition. And that's just all a confidence thing to me. I put in all the work for it, sleeping, and like I used to get to St. Pat's, so St. Pat's I used to get there like 5 in the morning. And I had class at 7:30. I would shoot up until I had class starting. And to me, when the results wasn't coming in, it's just start effing with your confidence. And I think that's the one thing is trying to stay with it. It's like you putting all this work in, but then I can't hit a shot when the lights come on. And that was my biggest thing. It's like, all right, that's what was messing with me over and over. It's like, I know what I can do, but when the lights come on, I'm not doing it. So it's like my confidence was getting shaken left and right. And then every time I felt like my 2 senior years, so my senior year at St. Pat's and my senior year at Dominican was my best years. And that's because I finally put it together over and over. But then it was like, I got a player that's better than me, or that's the best player, and we got to cater to that. And that's what I feel like can handle your confidence. Cause like,
is you not having that focus on yourself because
or like you run into like your first day in practice or your first week in practice. I think Kyle talked about it on the podcast when he was here with you. And I was on his team at that time. I literally watched Kyle make a great move, and the play was for our best player. Makes a great move because the read wasn't there. Kyle scores, and it was like, if I draw a play for this player, get that ball to this player. And I'm like, well, those players are telling us they ain't open, so they need us to help them take the pressure off of them. So when we can't do that and you telling us not to do that, that messes with your confidence too much for me.
I was talking yesterday with my cousin because he called me. He was like, did you watch the game yesterday? Boston and Miami, game 6. I was like, nah, I don't support the NBA. I don't watch it. I'll just read the stats.
All right.
And so he was like, bro, you got to see what happened. They won. I'm like, okay. So he showed me. And he was like, why you don't watch them? I'm like, because the NBA is nothing but politics, and it's a business.
Yep.
So you have a nigga that you paying $50 million to be on your team and to be the face, and you got a dude that you paying $5 million that's sitting and riding the bench, but that man is kicking his ass probably in practice or making good plays, but you gonna continue to give the other $50 million tick over that person because this investment got to work instead of this team has to win. And so. And that's
just
at the NBA level.
Yeah, and that's why I'm a big fan of Miami. Because they got a bunch of guys where you just see, like, you got Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent, guys like that who wasn't on nobody's radar. And now they down here playing, like, big minutes in the conference finals for them. And, like, a couple games they lead them in scoring and get them up out of there. And that's why I'm like, I'd rather play for Miami or something like that because those are some guys who are going to believe in whatever talent they can get just because they see what you can actually do and believe in it compared to teams who are going to try to put the most talent together but still player number 12, your 12th man on the bench going to be your best player.
Call them out. What teams you think do that?
I ain't going to lie. My Phoenix Suns did that, I feel like. It was just too top-heavy. And I just feel like you just get after role players instead of trying to believe in some guys who I actually think stepped into the door. Like a Terrence Ross should have played more minutes to me.
Okay.
Because Terrence Ross played in Orlando really well, showed he can score.
Yeah.
He just needs somebody to help him on the defensive end. But that's when I feel like you need leaders like that to kick their ass a little bit. Like, hey, pick it up on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
Who else got that? The Lakers do it too. It's just too much of playing the fluctuating Rui, Austin Reeves, when both of them guys probably outplaying most of the guys on that floor. And they need to be on the floor more consistently. Like, I shouldn't bring Rui off the bench or any of those games, I felt like. And one team I just feel like just got no issues with it just because they just playing up and down as Denver. And it's because they just too deep.
Yeah.
So a lot of those guys in Denver can go produce somewhere else, but nobody else will believe in those guys. So that's that.
Denver is one of those teams where you like they in the finals now. Well, where all these bandwagons come from? No, because I would support bandwagon fans for Denver because Denver always been a sleeper team. It's just they just couldn't win in the West Conference Final.
Yeah, and that was my thing. And I was bad about Denver because I talked a lot of crap about them because I didn't think they was gonna get past it finally. Because it was just too much of the narrative of pushing the Lakers, Phoenix, and all these other teams.
Yeah.
And we just keep sleeping on Denver, who's been like the number one team in the
number
West.
One team the whole like
the last 2 to 3 years. They just couldn't get out the conference finals like we were saying. And I think we had an argument in the gym one day. It was just like, you going for Denver? Bro, they ain't never made it out of the conference final. They still ain't going to make it. The same team. But you're not looking at it to me. I feel like if you look at that leader they have in Nikola Jokic, that's probably one of the most selfless leaders you're going to find in the game. And it's like, he's getting an 18, a triple-double, but he's okay with that. I don't think a lot of guys in the NBA are okay with that. Like if they not scoring 30 or like having their name like putting a real imprint, like an imprint on the game, then it's a real issue for them. And that's why I like him, Jokic, and like my 2 teams, well, 2 of the 4 teams, well, when Denver and Miami left, because Jimmy just like that too. He'll wait down the stretch to take over again compared to waiting and try to do it and force it all day. Yeah.
Yep, that's why them they asses where they at now. Because Bam is that player where you paying too much money to, so you got to give him tick.
Yep. And
he is the Achilles heel.
Yes, and to me, he's too talented to be that way. And he creates a disadvantage on the offensive end that I just don't think he understands what he can create. You 6'10", a little bit probably shorter than that can put the ball on the floor, shoot the mid-range, use it. I don't think he uses it enough, and it's kind of sad because you probably got one of the tougher leaders in the NBA who's trying to get it out of you. Yeah. It's like one night you get it, then 2 nights you don't get it. And that's why that's really why Boston came back into this series.
It's Bam. Okay. If y'all didn't expect it, this is finna be a sports-ass episode, okay? I've been waiting to finally talk sports. I especially would love to talk sports trauma. That's my shit. And I personally got some shit I want to get off. You know, I got to get a little therapy. But before we get any further, let's play a little game. So what's some you think some games that y'all play, if y'all even play games on your pod? Some
games we play are start bench cut.
Yep.
Would you rather? But we did what? We took the start bench cut and it started off with just doing 3 players and we just did duos.
Okay.
So recently we just did who would you rather start bench cut? Shaq and Kobe. Jordan Pippen. And then I think we did Kareem and Magic.
What you doing, Jay? What duo you start bench cutting?
Starting Shaq and Kobe.
Oh.
I'm benching Mike and Pippen. And I'm cutting Kareem and Magic.
Okay.
What you think of that take?
I'm still taking 6 rings over the 3 rings, and I really do believe Shaq and Kobe hated each other more than Mike and Pippen. Because, Shaq really went to the comedy club and was like, Kobe the dick. Over and over.
Yeah.
So like that's rough to me. Like Pippen was more like I'm gonna have mines, and now I feel like since the documentary came out, now he like all right, now I hated this man for sure. I'm like that when you was doing it back then, I don't think you hated him as much, but I really think Shaq and Kobe was that epitome of 2 egos. That was like we winning, and now when it's not working, and that's when everything started to falter.
It's crazy, man. The male ego is too fucking big, bruh. Because Shaq and Kobe should have had way more rings. That duo was so tough. Okay, let's play Weird or No. Okay. So if you are new to the pod, Weird or No is I'm going to get Isaac a headline, and he has to let me know if he think it's weird or no, and he gets a 1-sentence explanation on why. Shout out Jonesy for these Weird or No headlines. You did your shit, Bookie. New Black Wolf ride sharing app, which is essentially Uber with guns, has armed drivers ready to take you to your destination safely. Weird or no?
Where we at now? Nah. Well, nah. It's not weird to me because I think we just seen it on like the CTA thing. I feel like these drivers got to be able to protect themselves.
What happened on CTA thing?
recently it was just a shootout between a CTA passenger and a bus driver.
Really?
Yeah, they got to arguing. So the passenger pulled out a gun first. CTA driver pulled out his gun. They got to shooting at each other right there when you like paying your fare.
I'm a visual person. As soon as you started talking, this nigga never put a real gun like this.
Yeah, like legit. And they looked at it and they both started shooting at each other. Wow. And then the CTA guy lost his job because they said they don't condone anybody carrying weapons. But like,
you in Chicago.
You in Chicago.
Yeah. That's a smart man.
And I felt, and exactly what happened. Kid didn't have no money. It sounded like he didn't have no money for the bus ride. Get off my bus. Didn't want to get off your bus. So he was trying to basically scare his way onto the bus. Yeah. Or intimidate him. He was like, do it. They both got to shooting each other right there with like 3 other people on the bus.
Did it say anybody got injured or?
Nobody got, no, one of the passengers got caught in a crossfire, but they didn't get like seriously harmed. Okay. And I think the driver got shot in the thigh and the guy got shot in the passenger got shot in the shoulder.
That's crazy.
Like crawled off the bus and then ran away.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Janelle Monáe says, I'm much happier when my titties are out. Weird or no?
Nah.
You much happier when your titties out?
Sun's out, buns out, baby.
Okay.
You already know the deal.
All right, shake them nipples.
No. Yeah, but sun's out, buns out. You gotta let them out.
All right. A man is dead, and his 2 teenage sons were wounded after a grenade they found among their grandfather's old belongings exploded in their Indiana home Saturday. Weird or no?
That's weird.
Why?
I don't think you need to be holding a grenade for that long in a household like that. From that far back? You said from his grandfather's time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need that in the house.
That mother got a lot of power in that. There's a lot of old ass gunpowder in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of racist gunpowder in there.
Yeah, and you got kids by that too? Yeah, that's weird.
Former elementary school teacher's aide accused of licking a boy's feet was arrested again when he was out on bond after he approached another boy and asked to see his feet. Weird or no?
That's weird. There ain't no explanation to that. That's weird. You out here licking people's feet?
What's wrong with that?
There's so many things wrong with that. You don't lick. First thing is licking feet. I don't even lick feet. You shouldn't be licking feet. That's nasty.
You don't lick your baby feet? I'm like, dang, you so cute.
Nope. Pedicure, manicure, toes done, clean, not licking no feet.
I was watching Roy and Maul podcast yesterday, and they said that it's a woman's thing to like want to lick a baby feet, or I'm like, I must not be that type of specimen.
I can't do that. I can't do that.
An Arizona man who called Border Patrol over undocumented immigrants on his property was shot and killed by Border Patrol agents. Weird or no?
Say it one more time.
An Arizona man who called Border Patrol over undocumented immigrants on his property was shot and killed by Border Patrol agents. So the man that called the cops got by the cops.
Yes.
Not you laughed. This is a terrible person here.
I was gonna say that's karma, but yeah. I was gonna say that's karma, but yeah, I think it's weird because how you call and you get shot. That's how I feel about it.
Okay. Texas high school postpones graduation after 85% of class fails to earn diploma. Weird or not?
Weird because that's the institution fault to me. If 85% of them didn't earn it, what was y'all teaching them for them not to earn it?
I'm going to come back to that one because that's crazy. A 100-year-old woman who just celebrated her birthday says secret to long life is good sex. Weird or not?
No. Help them keep their exercise up. You know,
102. Still fucking.
It's use it or lose it. That's what it says.
Use it or lose it.
Use it or lose it.
All right, I know what I'm going to title this episode. 7th grade student Dallin Thorne was allegedly questioned by his principal if his braided hairstyle means he's a gangster. Weird or no?
Weird.
Why?
Because nobody should be basically judged based off their hairstyle, let alone and to insinuate they're a gangster based off their hairstyle. Just what makes him a gangster with his hairstyle.
Well, if he got a 5-point star in his head braided.
That's his choice. I have no choice.
You're a little skeptical.
A little skeptical. Man. It's his choice. I can't assume. Maybe he like it.
Pittsburgh Steelers QB Kenny Pickett had his car stolen in the middle of a radio interview. Weird or no?
Nah.
Why?
he got to have security on that car. That's too much for me. I feel like you make too much money, and as an NFL player, you shouldn't let nobody just take your car like that. Let alone it should be locked.
So are you saying it's his fault?
Yeah, it's just his fault. I think it's his fault. I still think it's his fault.
Timbaland faces backlash for saying R. Kelly is still the king of R&B despite being convicted of sex trafficking. Weird or no?
I think it's weird, but he has some good music. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's weird. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's weird. He has some good music, and we already done cut it off already.
We already did cut it off. No, the fuck they didn't.
They still bleeding.
Yeah.
All right. Whoopi Goldberg says American Idol was the beginning of the downfall of society. Weird or no?
Nah.
Why?
There's a lot of bad people on American Idol that just can't sing. I feel like they need to broadcast. I only want the people that can sing. You just be outing people at that rate. I think that's weird already to me. So,
all right, last one. A 2-year-old toddler in North Korea has been jailed for life after their parents were found with a Bible. A 2-year-old toddler in North Korea has been jailed for life after their parents were found with a Bible.
That's weird.
Why?
One, it's a 2-year-old. Why is a 2-year-old in jail for his parents holding a Bible? Let alone it's just a Bible.
You see what they did to Emmett Till.
Yeah, you're right. And still, that's wrong too and weird. So, yeah.
All right, that was weird at all. Thank you for playing. Nah, but back to that 85% failed to get a diploma. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's terrible.
That is ridiculous. How do you lead up into their senior year and know that these niggas failing? They not gonna pass.
That's what I'm saying. That's like the institution fault. Because it's just like if you taking a quiz and everybody in the room failed the quiz and the teacher go, I think that's my fault. Yeah. And I got to change the quiz.
Yeah.
So if it's 85% of your like student population not graduating or earning their diplomas, I think somebody need to be talking to me, letting me know how do we miss that many people?
Yeah, how do we get to this point?
85.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Only 15 people graduated out of 100.
The 25% can't even experience a graduation because you niggas dumb. That's crazy.
That's weird. Like 85%?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the school, dog.
Hey, man. Texas.
I need to know what they was doing in class for all of y'all to be
y'all niggas was just doing whatever in front of the teacher. Y'all just
they was coming to school for fun, bro. That's what they was doing.
It was actually, I was talking with my homie yesterday, and we was just reflecting on certain people we went to high school with and just like how they turned out. Of course, you know, this season is about accountability. So I brought that conversation on to my cousin because he also brought up stuff from high school. And I'm just like, I posed the perspective that I think our lives, our younger years, what they say is our 20s, I think it starts when we're in high school.
Yeah.
I don't think our 20s is our younger years. I think as soon as you get into high school, that's the start of your younger years.
Yep.
And I don't think you should be having, like, majority of it is all just have fun. You're young. I think it should be lock the fuck in so that I think your 30s is your prime. And that's when you're supposed to have your fun.
And that's how my guys thought. Like, me and my guys in high school, it was like, we can grind now. And then when we get done with, like, school and everything, now I can start doing what I want to do. Yeah. And I think that was prepping us, and that's what St. Pat's was doing, prepping us to be already adults already from the start when we walked in and when we was at 14, 15. And carried all the way until you got to my freshman year of college, and that's when you just surround yourself with the wrong crowd. So
yeah, I don't know what it is with when you become a freshman in college and you just want to do every fucking thing that you can. And then after that, you just cool out.
Yeah. That's because when your body can't take it no more, I'll be honest, we was doing like a lot of stuff or like consuming a lot that we shouldn't have been consuming that much about. So
freaky freshman 15s.
Yeah, like me and my guys used to do Four Loco Fridays.
Local Fridays,
and you already know Four Locos can
get you on your ass.
Yeah, put you right on your ass.
How many you needed to drink before you was on your ass?
It got to a point where it became more consistent where I could do 3 to 4. And then 3 to 4 left and went down to just strictly 1. And that's all I needed at that rate.
I'm proud to say I never joined the Four Loko fade. I let that be everybody else a little fun.
It was Dad and Savecca, man.
Oh my gosh.
Dad and Savecca.
Shitty ass alcohol. Yeah. That is crazy.
You know, when you freshman, you whatever you can pay for, you'll get it.
Jay, back in your day, in the 50s, what y'all used to do for fun? Y'all have Four Lokos too?
Yeah, we had the original Four Loko too.
40s.
It was like, I ain't that old now. Not a 40. But yeah, I remember like when Four Loko became like a thing. It was at the track house at Purdue, and it was like Four Loko every Thursday. That's why I was like Four Loko Friday. I was like, we was Thursdays.
Yeah.
And Fridays had to be our thing because it was most of the basketball games on for us. So we got the NBA ESPN doubleheader on, and just got Four Lokos in rotation. And we'd just go in there and pick up like as much as we could and just stick it in the fridge.
Oh my gosh! With I grew up like watching a lot of black films, and so when I got older, I thought, when you drink and you got like a can of alcohol, you got to have in a brown paper bag.
Oh, no.
And don't get you drunk unless you got the brown paper bag.
Oh, no. No. Yeah. You was on your own with that one.
Yeah. All right, we're going to get into some sports hot takes.
All right.
Now, Carmelo, he just announced that he's retiring. Who we giving that retiring the number 15 on the Nuggets to? Jokic or Melo?
I feel like it got to be, in a sense, it got to be both.
Okay.
Because Jokic is a 2-time MVP, and Jokic did something nobody has done for Denver, and that's take them to the NBA Finals. But when you look at Carmelo, his body of work in Denver, to me, is that we got Cornrow Melo. Cornrow Melo started to fall off once he started going to New York after his first 2 years in New York. So I think his career was made in Denver. His legend, to me, he's still a legendary legend already, but his career is in Denver. So I think they have to both have it in a sense. It's just not right to give it to either one, to me.
See, I have aspirations and dreams that I think this pod's going to really be successful. And so, certain things that we see on this pod might come back on us.
Yeah.
We shaking hands with celebrities or whatever, it might come back on us. But I never got to the Melo hype.
What?
Never, ever. Like, Melo's great. Cold.
No, after watching you
Hezo
play
Melo.
in college,
Cold.
I wouldn't think you said that.
Right? But my motto with basketball or any sports is always, you got to win. It's always, the objective of any sport is to win.
Yeah.
So I never got hung up with stats. Melo is nothing but just stats.
I just, I ain't gonna say he just stats. I can't say that.
What has?
Because I feel like it's some guys who right now, like in a sense, where it's guys who perform for their teams, they just didn't have enough around them. Like for me, for existence, like one of his times in Denver, he had J.R. Smith playing really well with him, and then J.R. Smith just disappeared in the playoffs, and that was the year I felt like they could have did the most damage. And that was your most complete team. Outside of that, I don't think he ever put himself in a situation where, outside of like that first year in New York or so, where his team surrounding him was good enough to help get him over the hump. Because even LeBron touched down on like against the Spurs early and couldn't get nothing done by itself, which is why I think we end up getting this now where we got all these stars playing together because they understand they can't get it done alone. And with Melo, I still think that's this issue with him. You play in the Western Conference and you played against somebody in Kobe, whose team was probably still more complete than yours, and to do the exact same thing as you do, but almost more efficient too, Kobe scoring, but having Pau Gasol on the floor with him and the other guys who understand the game a little bit better, I just can't take that away from like Melo. I think he's more than just stats. I just don't think he had the teams to help him get over the hump.
That's cool. He still didn't fucking win.
Hey,
I love the Phoenix Suns when it was that squad of Stoudemire, Wayman Felton, Shumpert, J.R. Smith, Melo. I only played with them in 2009 on 2K. That's the only team I played with, giving buckets. You just couldn't be my man Bean, man. You couldn't be Kobe. And that's cool. But that was your only time that I felt like you really had that chance.
Yeah, and that's why I agree with you on that. But I just think you can't take away. It's too many guys that's in the past time that didn't win, but their numbers showed you that they just didn't have enough around them.
Charles Barkley?
Nah, he wasn't gonna get it done. I don't think they was gonna get it done. Coming from the West to keep playing the East, and I think the East was tough at that time. No, he wasn't gonna get it done either.
It's sad to say this, but I think we have to give it to Jokic. Because people say the whole Melo putting Denver on the map.
He did.
Cool. You ain't win nothing.
You won't wait. You can't just take him out of hit. To me, you just don't erase him for history.
You don't, but
do you retire his? Okay, how about this? Because you know how like Kobe got 8 and 24, so Melo switched to 7. Do you retire 7 in Denver?
Yes. I'm sorry, but you chose.
I could do that. I could do that.
Somebody came after you and wore number 15 and blew anything you ever done for that team out the water. Jokic's stats are incredibly better than Melo's.
I just feel like his game's a lot different than Melo's, though.
It is, but it's this, if we going off stats, the stats shows this nigga.
See, I'm not a stats guy. I like because I didn't even want Jokic to win MVP this year. So
I feel like he should have.
Yeah, I feel like he should. I was just tired of seeing him win it.
And that's not why we should not give somebody an award.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm tired of seeing him win it, because that's just his game.
I think we just so stuck on nostalgia, like
yeah.
And we don't. That's just him as being a human being. Like we don't know how to ignore history, ignore how long you've known somebody, and just look at exactly what have they done for you.
It's just, I just think, because when you look at stats and you look at the guys who I think technically praised, they're asked to do so much more than the guys we're not praising. So like LeBron to me has to be, I feel like he puts himself in those positions, but he has to be that guy that got a rebound, pass, and score for his team. And then when he don't do it, Lord Jesus, their team looks so bad without him. Or you look at Jokic, if Jokic's not giving you at least
a triple-double,
then they don't look good at all.
Yeah.
And that's why I think where it goes back to Melo, like if Melo for them didn't score, then Melo and them don't win.
I mean, scoring is the number one objective to try to win.
Yeah, but even then with the shift though, I feel like scoring back then could get you a championship. Scoring now cannot just get you a championship. Like you need some role players, but you also got to develop the role of passing, which is like the growth of Jason Tatum to me. He came into the league almost purely as a scorer, but now you watching his game as a passer just unravel right before our eyes.
Yeah.
So I think right now that's why I was like, I want to retire both, because Melo was called to do something way different than Jokic. Jokic is asked to do what Jokic is doing now: rebound and assist, and then score when he wants. But he's so dominant inside, and so with his footwork, it's just
Jokic really has an off day. Now his fourth quarter play is not that.
I don't even know what you consider an off day for him anymore.
For Jokic,
yeah, because to be honest, his off day is still a triple double. So
that's what I'm saying. His stats is just kicking Melo ass.
I still give it to both.
That's fine. That's the easy answer. Give it to both.
I'll take the easy way out.
If we had to choose,
still going. Yeah, I'm still going both. Or we just came up with it. We give Jokic 15, and I retire 7 for Melo.
But he didn't have 7 for Denver.
That's okay.
You ain't finna just give up a fake number.
Miami retired Jordan. Jordan didn't play for Miami.
That's just
That's
just Melo ain't had a career Jordan had, so he can't have those little privileges.
Hey, but him, D. What was that draft class? Was it him, D. Wade? Who else?
Brian.
Hey, you got to get him something. You know what? New York could retire 7. What he do for New York? Nothing. Is just to erase him?
That's what I'm saying. It's just history and nostalgia for Melo.
I can't do it. I can't erase.
That's like the top 75 team. Why the fuck is Dame in the top 75?
No, he just bogus. I ain't gonna lie. He shouldn't be in that. He can't be. He can't be.
Nothing.
And right now, I think he just need to leave. He need to go. Find some help. I'd rather him join a contender. That's one of the players I'd be like, if you left,
I wouldn't be mad.
I would not be mad if you went to a contender. You could go to Golden State.
I'm going to be mad. You said too much now. Yeah. You got to die on this cross. You said way too much.
It depends on where he go for me. Like, if he go to Golden State, I'm going to look at you like KD.
Yeah.
But if you go to like...
I don't know. See, KD's is different. KD was like really knocking on the door. Dame not even knocking on the door. He ain't even on the front step. That's my thing. It's just like he doing too much work to just keep getting to either the first or second round. He ain't even touching conference finals.
It seems like they're pulling out any stops they can to try to get this man some help this year. I feel like if it don't work this year for him,
He should have been.
I think he's gonna have to leave.
He had too much say this past year. He got to leave.
Well, we gonna see next year. Now, another take is, what is your top 5? And do you like the conversation of we'll get to that one. Never mind. What is your top 5 players of all time in the NBA?
Top 5 players of all time. We're going to start it off with Mike at 1.
Okay.
I'm still putting Kobe 2 because the games was just similar. Bron will be 3. Bird will be 4. And I might get some hot takes. I got Steph as 5. And I'll explain why Steph is 5. I want him a little higher, but I want one more ring. Because I watched Steph, basically, you put Golden State on the map. He changed the game. So, I'm coaching now, and I coach 1st through 8th graders. Back then, when we was growing up, our coaches used to yell us to go take a layup. Mm-hmm. Not now. These kids stopping on the dime.
The easy bucket.
Yeah, these kids stopping on the dime, letting it rain.
Yeah.
I'm like, you had a layup. 2, the 2 is still important just as a 3. Mm-hmm. But he switched that whole emphasis of what a 3, live by the 3, die by the 3, became so much more apparent with Golden State, and that's because of him and Clay. Mm-hmm. And everybody could say it was Clay helping Dre and all this, but we already know who's really carrying that team. And I feel like he showed you, 1, he can win it with a star, without a star, twice. Mm-hmm. But he's gonna be top 5 in scoring in a sense, roughly. And then he's already number 1 in shooting, and that's what I don't think anybody gonna touch until you see somebody shoot like that again. And that's why I go and I will slide him in at 5.
I got an unpopular opinion about Steph Curry.
Okay.
I don't think he's the greatest shooter of all time.
Why not?
Because my criteria is winning and stats. That's the 2 things.
Okay.
Winning trumps you over people if you also have the stats. Steph Curry has never, ever made a clutch 3.
I'm not worried about that.
But that is winning the game. So if that's the objective, why can't you ever knock those down? But you can knock down any these far-ass shots, but when there's pressure on you to knock it down, you can't knock it down. Ray Allen has 3, 5? I don't know.
How many rings he got?
2.
All right. How many rings Steph got?
Ray Allen has 2. That's enough. You got 2. You ain't just get 1.
Steph still got his 2. To me, it's this. If you ain't got it, he's only been in that situation 12 times, roughly. I think 12 to 13 times. That's not a lot of times. And then, to me, that's not a lot of times in the span of a 10, 11-year career?
That's an intangible. If you blowing teams out, you never have to make a...
And that's what I'm saying. So I'm not in that predicament a lot. It's almost uncharted territory for somebody. But the type of shots I've looked, even the one we just watched recently, he took against AD, to me, those are terrible shots. And what I would look back at Steve Kerr, can I free him up even more? Mm-hmm. And rather him dance at the top when I know all he want to do is let it fly. Mm-hmm. But I can't take that away because if you're going to say winning the stats, he still get you 4 rings. He still get your team in the top 3, top 5 in the West. And the West is a lot stacked. But also, to me, as the criteria to be the greatest shooter of all time is how you can get it off. And I'm talking about...
range.
Not even range. I'm watching his body of work. So I'm watching you run off a handoff.
Okay.
You score off the dribble on your own.
Okay.
You don't have to. You would move without it, so just being a cutter randomly. Mm-hmm. And then he sets screens and free himself back up. Mm-hmm. And that's what you don't see as, to me right now in the NBA, that's lacking to me and a lot of people, is that willing nature to move without the ball.
Again, that's my criteria. So that's my unpopular opinion. If I could see Steph Curry, all he got to do is make 1. He just got to make 1 clutch 3 for him to go over.
You want in the playoffs? Because I was about to say he did game OKC in the middle of the season from half court. That was a game winner. I was in B-dubs watching that. Lily ball went in, takes it, just gently jogs up the court and just chucks it from half. Because at that rate, that's the only way I feel like he's going to get any type of game winner if he just walking up the court like that where they try to fall asleep from him. But since he did that, they not letting him breathe no more.
Ray Allen, 2 rings come off of this man. Off his clutch 3s. He's the reason for the ring to be secured. I don't care what type of shooter you are. If you got to do screens, whatever, 3 deep as hell, just make the shot. I'm not really a flashy person.
That's like naming Mike a greatest shooter of all time, and Mike shot the 3 like shit.
No. We ain't talking about greatest player, greatest athlete.
No, I was
greatest
saying,
shooter.
If we're gonna bring up clutch shot, you might well put him in that if that's the case.
Because Ray Allen's percentage is also high. While also he's the second of all time.
So that means you got Reggie above Steph too then.
No, I don't.
This is backwards to me then.
I have Steph Curry as 2, and he could easily get 1 if he just has some clutch shots under his belt. Because he doesn't, and Ray Allen's 2 rings are because of his clutch shots, I got him number 1. Because he is second on the all-time list. So you got stats and you got winning. That's my criteria. He can't be number 1 for me.
I'm gonna give it to you, but I still think Steph has won more. Stats still better. Even in game, still better. To look it down at just a clutch shot, it's like looking like
that's it. Because that's why I don't listen to a lot of takes. Because people don't actually give you their criteria. This is your preferred.
Yeah, that's a valid take. If we was drilling this down a clutch shooter, yeah, I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you just saying shooter, I'm thinking about somebody like I got Ray, Steph, and Reggie in that top 3. Because when you watch how they get their shots off, it's just F who here, I'm here. Like as long as I get it off, I know it's going in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's Ray down the stretch is probably a little bit more better than both of those guys together, but
quick releases.
But then when I'm looking at Steph move, reason why guys can't guard Steph because you got somebody committed to chasing, and anytime you fall asleep, he letting it fly, and it don't matter what it is. To me, that's impeccable.
It's a lot of lack of discipline.
Lack of discipline, but like even then, it's playing like that for what all your life. And still nobody can figure it out because either they don't got the cardio to do it. Sometimes some of them that don't got it.
They don't got the cardio.
Yeah, like we got Matthew Dellavedova. To me, if I got somebody who's taking an ice bath after every game in the series, like Matthew Dellavedova, by all means, to me, you earn my respect.
Yeah.
But I'm watching you do this in multitude of ways where you trying to get kids now to understand like it's not him just pulling off screen.
Yeah.
It's a lot more than that.
It's a lot of skill. It's a lot of endurance.
Same thing with Ray Allen. It's like he's just not a catch and shoot guy. He could do a lot of other things besides just catch and shoot.
But he had to turn himself to that as he got older with the position he had.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. He made LeBron a better shooter. So, like, yes, I got him up there, but to go back, to dwindle it down to clutch shooting, I just can't. I can't do that. I got to watch how you get it off.
I don't give a fuck what none of you niggas say. If you don't win, it don't matter, okay? That's all. That is my take with any sport. If you don't win, it does not matter. Sport and life, whatever. Do you think that having kids is a part of your legacy?
Like, what you mean by that?
So, we all heard, like, my legacy is my kids.
Right.
Do you think that your kids is your legacy? Basically, are we debunking this, or are we saying, like, yeah, that's facts. Your kids can be your legacy.
I would like my kids to create their own legacy. I just want to give them a foundation. So that's my thing. So if I can give them the keys to the I give them keys to the car. They the ones that's gonna move the car to me. So like you go watch, just like Carmelo saying, like in his retirement video, you have my keys. No, if he decides to play way different than you, by all means, he's not in your legacy no more. And he already plays way different than Melo. So, but you could be there, but I just don't think that could be the all in all to me. Like my kids' legacy shouldn't be my legacy. Like they have to be able to create their own legacy, their own destiny, because they're gonna live their own lives. Like I'm just here to somebody they can look up to. They want to follow me, yes. Then I want to leave my own legacy and imprint to what I think they should follow. But if they don't want to, I think it has to be their own thing.
I like to call people out on bullshit. I love listening to the way people communicate and explain their thoughts. Melo saying that his son is his legacy and it don't matter, and I didn't win, but that don't matter because I got this great son. You're a loser, okay?
That is a cop-out. That is a cop-out.
You are a loser. You're admitting that I know I lost a lot. I didn't win shit, but I got a great son coming up and he's my legacy. He might win. So that's going to make me look better.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like the legacy, even when you look at Jordan's sons, everybody was hyping them up too much. They were not that. Just not that. Like, yeah, man, they got Jordan's legacy. Yeah, to me, you effing Jordan's legacy up. Like, because them kids didn't live up to that legacy at all. So don't do that. they created their own little legacy. Like they were more worried about like the style and everything.
Yeah.
Their dad was worried about winning games.
When we in season 2, our theme was healing your inner child, and I think that with my 25 years of living, just experiencing life and seeing the way people communicate, I think your parents are the villain of a lot of people's origin stories.
Yes.
Right? Melo putting all of that pressure on Kanye. That's how you say his name?
Yeah.
Okay. Putting all that pressure on him to be his legacy.
Yes. And that's why see, like, that was my thing. Like, it's so much pressure to try to live up. Like, the reason why I feel like Dwayne Wade's son didn't grow. Mm-hmm. He was trying too hard to be his dad. Mm-hmm. You're not your dad.
Nah.
If you just like stuck to your own lane and been a great role player with those guys you was playing with, he probably would have made some noise.
My daddy was bailing you out with all these opportunities.
Yeah, because now you got your dad making. I feel like even with LeBron, I feel like you found a way to get your son on the McDonald's All-American team. Just like
I'm not retiring unless I play along my son.
Like you got Dwayne Wade making a whole like becoming part of the Utah Jazz so he can get a shot on the G League squad. To me is outrageous. They not them. Well, Bronny has picked his game up over the last few months and stuff, but. And trying to show y'all like, okay, I was supposed to be here, but outside of that, I don't feel like this, like Zaire, all the Jordan sons. No, that was too much pressure on them. I feel
man.
And that was the villain of those stories was the parents, and that's what I'm trying to live up to them.
Bron wild as hell. I'm not retiring until I play alongside my son. So you forcing somebody to want to draft your son just to have you on their team.
And then I want to see if Bronny said something, because I think it just came out like last week. Bron just came out was like, if that don't want to be his thing, then
I'm sure they had in-house conversations.
Yeah, they had to have an in-house conversation, because now you think about retiring finally, and I'm like, y'all had to have a conversation. Like, stop telling people that, because then what if I don't play good at USC? And everybody will be like, well, Bron retired because Bronny didn't make it. Like, that's why I feel like the next narrative will be, because I feel like nobody puts LeBron in the fault. Don't matter how old he is. It don't matter what he's doing. It's always, all right, Bron did, his team did this. Somebody else did this to help him and, like, bail him out. All right, well, Bron retires because Bronny didn't make it to the league. I don't want that to be on Bronny's head or future. Like, what you mean? My dad retired because of me. He old. That's why he retired. So...
last basketball take is, what do you think of the GOAT debate? Do you think that is a necessary conversation that we should have? Is it necessary to label who is the best of all time for things? What is your opinion on that?
I think it's okay to a certain extent. Cause I feel like now it's to the point where we are looking at the GOAT debate and then just skipping everybody's flaws left and right. And to me, that's where the stats thing come back to. It's so much driven on stats to where it was winning. For me, I will put Jordan as my GOAT, because for you to step each time into the finals and just get it done, cool. I mean, you took advantage of each time you stepped into the finals, you got it done. It wasn't like, let me get a 7th or 8th chance to do it, or like, let me switch my team up. Like, I might sit here, but they literally got their ass kicked by the Pistons, and then like, let's all get big now. Then it kicks it off again. Or he filming for Space Jam, and he bringing all these people in, like, all right, let me judge my talent this year. It's little things like that where we just bailing guys out. So I feel like it's gonna come down to what you like more to me. It's like, you like winning or you like stats. If you like winning, it's Jordan, obviously. If you like stats, yes, it's very, to me, somebody finishing top 5 in about 3 other categories, damn near 4, that's impeccable too. So I can see it from that side of the debate. But it can be a debate, but right now it's losing its, because it's been a debate for too long, I feel like.
Yeah.
And at this rate, you're not going to get an answer, because they're never going to play each other. Even then, I don't feel like LeBron want to play back then, because he ain't trying to get beat up and shit like that. Jordan don't want to play now because it's too soft. And it's like, it's too much. And I just feel like it depends on what you want. You like winning? Jordan. You like stats? It's going to be LeBron.
Yeah. Let's change the fucking, like, give us some fresh takes in sports. God damn.
Yeah. Give me something different. Like, all right, you talk about the next top new point guards coming in or something. Who going to be top 5? Like, is De'Aaron Fox cracking the top 10? Jalen Brunson cracking the top 10? Something like that. If I got to talk about LeBron and Jordan for another year, I just...
You going to miss talking about Bron, though.
I am going to miss it. But to keep drilling it like that, when you got guys like Jokic getting 2-time MVP.
Yeah, it's a lot of talent.
We missing a lot of other narratives, or like they got swept. Mm-hmm. I don't understand how we still talk about LeBron retiring when Denver just made it to their first finals. Mm-hmm. I'd rather talk about that. Let's talk about all the Denver teams that came in and out of the world that couldn't get this job done, that you thought was gonna get the job done.
No.
Stay out of this Melo thing.
I'm not gonna say anything about
Melo.
I felt it. It's about LeBron. He is a sneaky motherfucker with the way that he does things strategically. Yeah. This man talk about, I got a lot to think about.
Yep.
It's so that we will talk about him possibly retiring instead of how he just got swept.
Yep.
Changing the narratives. And like, people like, oh, you're a hater, you hate LeBron or not. No, y'all are just dumb as fuck. You can easily be manipulated.
I don't hate LeBron. Actually, I used to ride, like, I was a diehard LeBron fan in Miami. Mm-hmm. It's just, to me, when you do little things like that, I just feel like it's a cop-out, bro. Yeah. And it's just finding a way to make it about you.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't even like I knew you wasn't ready for the playoffs. You normally turn your Instagram and everything off. You didn't even do that this year. I'm like, yeah, you ready. You up in that age. You getting ready. And to do that after, because you know you got swept.
Yeah.
And you knew AD played like crap. So you didn't want none of these questions about this team. So you like, yeah, I'm thinking about it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, all right, bro, that's a cop-out.
Okay. All right, we done with basketball. The NBA. I wanted to talk a little bit about sports trauma. So, do you feel like you had the adequate enough support to follow your dream of playing basketball and becoming the player that you probably envisioned yourself to be? Or do you feel as if you lack that support?
I can't say I lack that support because I always had my dad and brother, always. And it was like non-stop support to where it was like, I'm in Vegas when I was in like 7th and 8th grade. I'm struggling playing basketball, and I call my dad while I'm in Vegas. He go, all right, because he already watched me play so many times. For him, he like, all right, do me a favor, open your hand up. Mm-hmm. Next night over, I scored 30. I'm like, well, I should listen to you beginning. Mm-hmm. I think for me, it was more not utilizing the tools or believing what they were saying, just because either my trauma came more from my coaches. Mm-hmm. So it was like either.
We get to that.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like for me, family-wise, friend-wise, I always had that support. Mm-hmm. Like my brother always used to watch film with me. My dad used to be like, you could have did this better here, to where I go to practice where everything starts to change for me. Mm-hmm. My trauma came from coaches to me.
Talk about the coaches, because that's where my trauma comes from as well. Coaching is just like parenting, where they are your villain origin story.
Yeah.
What do you think are some things that was unethical with coaching that formulated trauma for you with the sport?
I think as I'm a coach now, I think me or showing, to me, the word favoritism rings in pretty much to me. Mm-hmm. Because I believe, I ain't gonna lie, I think I play with a lot of talented guys up and down.
Yeah.
To where if you keep the guys around them confident, they could be even better. Mm-hmm. So like, I play with 2 great guys at Dominican, three in my opinion. And I feel like each of those guys had something different. Mm-hmm. In the games, the very few games we did win that season, it always became apparent to how we won those games. Mm-hmm. They struggled, and who was there to catch them when they fall? Us.
The roles.
And that was us. And I was like, I can do that. But when it's not being preached on a consistent basis, or when you're doing these extra reads, or you know your game, like you didn't watch me work on my handle and stuff in the gym and just work on like getting to my shot. And then when I get in the game, I'm swinging it because was told to swing the basketball. Okay. And that's me as a coach. Like, I don't take away from you. I can't. Mm-hmm. I want to find a way I can utilize everybody's talent together. So if I got my best player and I know he can score at any point, I might tell you, hey, go get them involved and stay involved with them. Like, I've had guys where it was involved with you early, and then by the end of the game, they don't want to be involved. And that's just all coaching. Mm-hmm. And that's all going to be that, because it's going to be that each time. It's just like you telling guys not to shoot. You telling guys, you can't do this. You never seen me do it. Mm-hmm. You never gave me the chance to do it. Mm-hmm. And so, or you fall into that thing of like, where those guys don't like, so your star guys or like your top guys don't like somebody. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, all right, let me mess with this player because they don't like him. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's too much favoritism in that. Even with the older coaches, younger coaches, it's too much favoritism to me.
I don't even know how you break that power structure with you being a coach and you having the decision making. Because if you're not in the NBA where someone is paying you millions of dollars to bring them success to their franchise, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
You won't.
Yeah, especially when you best friends with the AD.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how do you disrupt that power structure when you now no longer are being paid to do a good job, and you just have to just be a coach. In high school and middle school.
Yeah. Well, I blew up in the locker room for mine.
Yeah.
And that's just because when it gets to a point where as a competitor and somebody who works too much on their game to watch us watch little things throughout the summer that was just pointing to it. Like when I bring my guys to play my high school guys and the high school is sticking around with a D3 college team, you just like, yeah, this ain't right. We need to figure this out one way or the other. And then when you get to the season and everybody want to point fingers. And there's not enough pointing fingers or holding, like we talking about accountability. To me, it wasn't enough self-accountability on my teammates, but it wasn't enough accountability from my coaches. Like you can't keep telling me it's all right when we got 3 people shooting like 20, 30 shots and the rest of us shooting 2 and you talking about something I need more from y'all.
Yeah.
Well, you just told me not to shoot the ball in practice, so yes, I'm gonna hold you accountable. And then don't tell me like we ain't working on our games. Well, then you ain't been fighting for gym time for us. So and we know these little things. Or when we ask the other aide, like you asked the AD, hey, can we go open gym? No, we don't give it to volleyball. Why? You know why? Because volleyball winning games. I would give it to them too. But it's too much time where it's like the little time right after class was 2 to like 6, nobody in there. We could use that time.
Yeah.
You're not fighting for that time.
Yeah. And
I just feel like, and then when I blew up in the locker room that day, yeah, it was time. Because teammates is too much pointing fingers. Y'all being lazy. I was being lazy. So you can't tell me that. And then I know the past history. My brother used to play for y'all. Y'all was lazy too, which is why y'all stopped winning. Y'all egos got into it. And when you look at the coaches, it's just the same thing. It's just they set the standard. They're going to set the tone for you too. And if my coach not setting the standard the right way or the tone the right way, it's always going to have a losing season to me.
I do believe that all children should experience some type of sport or skill that requires dedication.
Yep.
I think that builds character and instills discipline in you at an early age so that as you get older and you navigate life on your own, you understand some type of what it is to have discipline.
Yes.
So I would never negate my experience with playing basketball because I think that created the person that I am today immensely with having discipline. If I got a fupa and I ain't liking it, I got that discipline. Like, all right, let me get in this gym and lock in for 2-3 months.
And that was with me too. That was like the same thing. Like I knew if I shot the ball like crap, okay, bet I know what I'm doing next time. The whole summer. Yeah. We're gonna get as many threes as we can to gain speed. Yeah. I'm joining leagues and all to get my game back to where it need to be. Yeah. But if you keep running to that same wall, because your coach like, all right, well, you shot the ball like this last year. Let's not put it. Okay. Then you fall into that thing, or you get those guys where like, I take it upon myself to show you. All right, but you're not going to do it the right way now. So now we just going to keep doing this. We're going to be in the same vicious cycle, I feel like, until somebody starts to believe in one another. Yeah.
I had talked a little bit. We had an episode with Ari, who was also a person we went to college with, and that episode's lost, so sorry, Ari. But we kind of talked a little bit about some of the trauma I experienced with basketball. It's a lot of things people don't know that I experienced at Dominican. Like, yeah. And I still have things that I don't say I'm upset, but I would just wish that people would take accountability for it. Right. So like when Gabby Johnson she left. When she told me to come to that school or recruited me, she told me, don't come here if you're thinking about moving and wanted to go up in the division. Because again, Dominican is a Division III school, and I cared about divisions. I didn't know that you can still have a successful career, regardless of the division you play at. Yeah. So I'm thinking I still got hoop dreams a little bit. All right. So that didn't push me to just like, DU. But I eventually chose them because I felt the most welcomed here. And so now I'm playing here, and then in my freshman year was so much issues with the seniors. So I'm sure you experienced that too with just the best players. Them niggas wasn't the best players. They was the worst players on the team, and the freshmen were the best players.
What's funny is just because your best players, you coming in, your best players was the best players the previous year. So I was the year ahead of you. So You look at it, I ain't gonna lie, I was watching them shoot like 20, 30 shots, but they weren't winning no games.
We came into, when I was a freshman, last year I think they won 2 games.
Yep. I watched all 25.
They won 2 games. You play 25 over every season. You won 2 games. We get it there freshman year, we win 8. And I really think we could have won much more if the coach, would have just locked in and said, fuck y'all old hoes. Y'all suck, okay? We brought them here for a reason. Let these people do what they got to do to win us some games. It's games where I'm scoring 28 points, 12 rebounds. We still losing. Because you hoes don't know to just keep giving T the ball. Just keep giving her the ball. No, you want to throw up a 3 far as hell just because I ain't scored yet.
Wow, yeah. And that was my guys, I felt like. Mm-hmm. Well, we relied so much on the other 2 that when it was time for us, none of us was ready no more.
Yeah.
Like, none of us was ready no more because it was at points where, like, force feeding became them taking shots over 2 to 3 people.
Yeah.
And then I remember one game, I mean, he was in a real groove that game, and our job was trying to get him the ball as much as he can. Mm-hmm. And that was Josh Mayberry. I think he was at a roll, he scored like 30. Mm-hmm. He was just in a groove. Mm-hmm. It didn't matter who was in front of him. It was all off the dribble.
I don't know if you've ever experienced some of the stuff that I experienced with playing basketball. Because I'm pretty sure men and women experience different things, but women also like other women sometimes. Yeah. It's not many cases where male players like each other on the team. So my senior year of high school, not even senior, when I moved to Hammond, because I was born in Chicago, South Side, but lived in Indiana all my life. And so when I moved to Michigan City, that's where my love of basketball formulated. I was teaching myself how to play. I didn't have anybody to teach me. So then we moved to Hammond when I was in 5th grade, and that's where I met a lot of the people here that played basketball, a lot of the girls, and they wanted to form an AAU team because they didn't have that in this area. Yeah. So I guess I was their missing piece. They had a bunch of guards. They had a tall-ass fucking center. They just didn't have a swingman. They didn't have somebody like me. So when I moved here, I was like, this is it. So they formulated their AAU team, which is called Hammond Elite out here. All the coaches and the ones that put money into the program were all fathers. They of the players on the team. So you already got that favoritism there. You want your girl to go to college for free. I didn't have a father in my life. My mama, she just trying to make sure she can even pay for me to play. So she ain't really that included in the politics of things. I'm innocent, so I don't really know everything that's going on, but I'm also not dumb. So I'm seeing she getting all this over here and whatever over here. Yeah. That's the dad. I'm understanding these things, but I'm not vocalizing and showing like, hey, give me the ball more. Like, I'm really good. Like, y'all know I'm good, but y'all pushing me to be a 4 when I need to be learning guard shit. Yeah. Because I'm not going to be a 4 all my life. So I'm not having that discipline instilled in me of, like, the skill I needed to get to collegiate level. So more of the story, I was AAU, I hated it, but I enjoyed the camaraderie with the girls. I just hated politics. Yep. So whenever I go back to high school, that's where I'm shining. Nobody came to my high school. They all went to their different high schools. We playing against each other. Cool. Great. High school was great. It was senior year where those girls now had issues with the schools that they went to, and so they came to my high school for their senior year. I had no issues with it. This is my school. I'm big dog here. But they now also brought their coaches here. So one of the girls that never liked me she came. She couldn't play for her junior year because she had the whole, if you transfer in between schools, you got to sit out a year. Yeah. So she played JV her whole junior year. I played senior year. Cool. Junior, I'm varsity, whatever, doing my thing. Her godmom is the head coach now. Her dad is the JV coach. So now I can't even run away from the AAU politics because now you niggas are here. Yeah. I did not vouch for them to get this job. At all. They kicked out my high school coach that I wanted to continue to remain here, but the other players on the team, they was crying about, oh, it's always T, because you hoes suck.
Yeah.
So now, senior year, it's terrible. It's so much favoritism. I'm calling it out nonstop because now I've built this voice that I have today. I'm calling it out, favoritism. Y'all keep trying to garner to this girl. And he had the dad, he had a big moment when we just lost to the school's called Lake Central. That's one of those schools that have nothing but white players and whatever. And they always been shooters. They always been good. So we played them, we lose by a little bit. We could have won. She was playing trash. The dad on the bus screamed, Kayla should have had more picks. She should have had more opportunities. Every opportunity she had, she failed it. So we listen to you say this about your daughter in front of us, so we're hearing favoritisms here. But again, T is the issue. So T, you need to stop talking about it and bringing this up. Let us do our job.
All right.
My senior year was terrible as far as basketball. I still did my thing. We was 17-5. We just didn't go far in the tournament. So now I'm like, I lost the passion for basketball. Because when we got to the sports banquet, I've been here for 4 years. We've never lost a conference. It's always been T.
All right.
But these girls come in, and now you're the coach, so you get to choose who you want to get these awards to. I wasn't tripping over whoever they gave MVP, none of that stuff. It's academics. I had nothing but a 4.0 my senior year of high school. Everybody knows I have the best grades on this team. They give the academics award to the girl that is the godmom's goddaughter, the dad's daughter. They give it to her. She has a 3.6, 3.7, right? They give it to her. My sister pregnant as hell. My mama right here next to me. My sister get up. Are you serious? in the auditorium. And I'm just like embarrassed. I'm like, let's get up out of here. But I'm heated. Because I don't, like, y'all played in my face the whole year. Tell me I'm crazy. And you end up giving this girl my award. So that scarred me.
Yeah.
Because one thing that I always held myself above a lot of players is that I always had academics. These girls had terrible grades on my AAU program. They just had fathers that wanted to pay their way through shit and don't push them that y'all still need to be academic scholars. So I didn't have no structure. I didn't have no dad, no none of that, but that was always in me. So I pride myself hard on that. That really fucked me up. So then now I'm figuring out what college I want to go to, and I'm sad about it. Like, I don't really care anymore. Right. I just want to now just be successful in life. Choose DU. We at DU, and I have all these pressures to be the star and whatever, and I was cool with that because I know that I got that. This is where my time to shine. I'm not going to care about high school no more. I'm just coming here to do my thing. But I did not fucking know that every year it was going to be some people on this team that cared about me being the greatest player on this team and you not being as good as me and niggas letting you know that. Yep. I didn't know that was going to be a thing. So every year it was at least one player that was hating on me. And that player didn't dictate us winning. That player just dictated how much I wanted to be a part of the team. Because, again, I didn't have that passion to want to have hoop dreams anymore. Yeah. I was just here to do my thing as an individual. All right. So we get to my senior year of college. I had bruised a tendon in my toe my junior year of college. Still, the next game we was playing Aurora. Yeah. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do nothing. Sarah wrapped my shit 20 times on my toe. Shout out Sarah. I love you. I love you so much. She was such a pillar for me at Dominican. She wrapped my shit so I couldn't like try to feel the bottom of my shoe. I just couldn't walk. I couldn't run. Right. I'm in this motherfucker doing this. Tell me why. We win the game. We had to come back because we was losing a little bit. We win the game. You look at the stats. Tamaya has 22 points. Yada yada rebounds, whatever. Everybody else, 10, 8. Why the fuck do I have 22 points and I can't run? So that should have felt like to me, that should have told you hoes, y'all can't compete where you can't compare. So kiss my feet. You feel me? Stop. Anything y'all got to say, lunch tables, all that shit, gotta go. This is outrageous. That didn't stop. It only got worse with them, all the banter and the hating. It got worse. And so I told coach, I said, I don't want to play anymore for the rest of the season. I want to focus on healing. I've never experienced an injury in my life, so that was really tough for me mentally. Because I was doing really good my junior year. I came from my sophomore year being 16-9. Yep. Should have been player of the year, didn't get it. So I'm like, my junior year, I'm going to solidify that player of the year. To get that injury and to not be able to play it to my best ability because I was kicking ass my junior year, it really fucked with me. So I was like, you know what? Let me get really ready for my senior year. So I told the new coach, Coach Parker, can I no longer play for the rest of the season and just be a support and just heal? She's like, I really think you should keep playing, T. I'm like, well, another layer, these hoes ungrateful. I don't want to play for them anymore. Right. She just kept telling me, like, play. So I don't have that support there to actually tell me, like, no, you really do need to sit this injury out. Because it was bad. It wasn't good. I'm limping. Right. So I play it out. We get to, like, the first, second round of the conference tournament. So it was like, to me, it was a waste of time. I shouldn't have played. Now we get to my senior year, and I told her I don't want to be a captain because I feel like that was a large thing. They had gave Lexi the MVP of our season for my junior year of college,
right?
Which was bullshit, right? But she allowed the players to vote for MVP. It always been like the coaches choose.
Yeah, that's rough.
So she allowed the players to vote. They voted for Lexi. And I have my speculations on why. I stopped talking to them the entire season. When that injury happened and I saw that these hoes was being very ungrateful, talking shit about me at the lunch tables, yada, yada, yada. So I'm not going to talk to you. I'm going to let y'all see that I am this team. If I'm not talking, if I am talking, it don't matter. As long as I play basketball, we're going to win. Yeah. So I stopped talking to them for the whole season. I didn't talk in practice. I clap your hand or whatever, but I'm not saying anything. I'm just playing basketball. Mm. Senior year comes, I'm like, I don't even want to be in a position for you to even place that blame on me. Oh, she's not being vocal, so she's not being a leader. She's not the MVP. Don't even make me a captain. Just let me be on the team. I'm just gonna hoop. She's like, okay, but she snuck and was sneaky and said, I'm gonna make 3 people the captains, but I'm also gonna make a leadership team.
Yeah, I hated the leadership team.
So you did that so that I'm still a part of leadership on the team.
Yeah, I hated that.
The hoes voted me to be on a part of leadership team. No issues. I didn't have any like vocal issues of them speaking ill on me, but they was really like hating hard my senior year. And I just didn't have any pressures to listen to any of that shit. And I just hooped. But my toe never healed from that. So I still had to keep getting wrapped up. Yep. There's a lot of things going on. And I just did not like that I was just being praised so much by the school without them really knowing what I was dealing with. Because I shouldn't have been dealing with any of that shit. I should have just had a smooth sailing ride. Just let me be the star. Let me do my thing.
Right.
So, more of the story. All of that college shit happened. And I always like suppress it and look past it because I focused so much on my senior year of high school. That's where it started, my sports trauma.
Yeah.
The girl that was the goddaughter, she always had issues with me. She always hated on me. I never cared too much about it. But she had went on like a retreat because I don't know if you know the school in Michigan called Albion.
Yeah.
We was going to play them our freshman year, and that's where she went. So when I learned that, I was like, oh, now I can get in that ass. We got our ass blown out by Albion, but she wasn't on the team. So I was like, where is she? What happened? I came for her. And she had she transferred to another school, I guess. So we're on the street as her dad transferred her out from that school because she was having lesbian experiences. Her dad's really into the church. They really are into the church. So she had lesbian experiences allegedly at this school. So dad like, hey, let me get your gay ass up out of this. So you getting, influenced. That's what I am hearing words on the street. You feel me?
I actually had somebody just do that to me at work.
Yeah.
She was like, because she found out I coach basketball. Mm-hmm. The patient looked at me and was like, yeah, I don't let my daughter play basketball because I don't want to get turned out. Mm-hmm. And I was like,
it's a myth.
I was like, that's a myth. But I can't tell them that in the clinic. So I was like,
yeah.
I just sat there and looked at her with a smile like,
okay,
you outrageous. That's outrageous.
But the daughter then went on a church retreat or some shit, I suppose. And she revealed that during her senior year of high school, the godmom, the coach, the head coach of varsity, had a relationship with each other in some sort of fashion romantically. Right?
Wait, what? This is not
you
where
didn't.
Wait a second.
I did not know this was going.
You took a left.
Yeah, so she said on a church retreat, I don't know what happens at camp, but she said there that the coach would get jealous or envious because she had boys giving her attention at school and shit. She used to like get her. We had McDonald's right across the street. My high school's right down the street. We had that McDonald's right there, and we all used to hang out there or ditch school sometimes to get McDonald's and shit. She would bring her McDonald's early to school. So she got McGriddles in class eating and shit. I guess that's one of the benefits of, finagling with your godmom.
Yeah.
Right? So all of those things clicking in like, damn, y'all had a relationship. We also had the assistant coach on the team. She was open lesbian. Stud looking ass coach. You feel me? So that also came out that the head coach and the assistant coach had a little thing going on. So anytime I would ever bring up favoritism or anything, no one's ever on my side. But when I'm talking to the assistant coach, she's like, yeah, T. She always a player coach with me. But when I'm now talking openly about things, I'm up here with the coaches over here. Right. So I had no support. So to learn that y'all had a huge reason why it should be favoritism. Because you like your goddaughter. Fuck me up even further.
Yeah, that's it. That's effed up. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, because that's my first time really like vocalizing and being the person I am today, going against the machine, saying something. And I had no winning fight in that because the head coach is doing fraudulent shit.
Yeah.
And our high school didn't do anything to support that claim that she put out there because the girl is 18, she's 19, saying this. She still was the coach at the time of coming out about this. And so our school is used to having cases of students and teachers being inappropriate with each other. And so I think she just stepped down so that it wouldn't be such a debacle.
Yeah.
So nothing ever come from her doing that.
Right. Yeah.
The player,
technically was swept
sorry for your mental health or whatever, but fuck you still. Because you did a fucking lot.
Yeah. They tried to sweep that quick.
Sweep that shit under the rug. And the AAU coach that I had, he posed as a father figure in my life. Was not really a father figure in my life. He liked my mom way too fucking much.
Yeah.
So you in my mama's face when you really should just be here to make sure I get to college for free, because that was our goal in AAU, was to get to college for free. I didn't have any support is what I was saying. So yeah, my senior year of high school was a lot for me. So I had no passion coming to DU. I did not know DU was going to still continue to be.
Yeah, and I just think even then, like I was like when you had Coach Johnson, I've never like really had a conversation with Coach Parker throughout my like little tenure I had with her. But when I looked at like Coach Johnson, and I mean I got a lot of respect for Coach White because he's a family friend, but just them two as people, it wasn't enough for them to hold the locker rooms down to me. Like, and it didn't help when it came to X's and O's, it just wasn't right to me either. Like I remember my first close game in college. It's kind of funny. So I don't know if you remember Coach Nikita, like my sophomore year, a little guy who had like the little patch around his head.
Nah, I don't think I remember him.
Sophomore year, he came in and been a student coach with us. It was funny that he had a double against us the year before, like 20 and 10 assists.
Okay.
And like knew about us already.
Okay.
Like walking into practice, like I was out like the first 2 or 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But and that's why I always give credit to him, Shim, Tonsu, because I felt like they knew the game more and knew us more than Coach White.
Yeah, shout out Tonsu and Shim.
Yeah, shout out to them, because I'll be honest, because nobody understood you wasn't going to have me senior year. I quit already.
Mm-hmm.
And got called by Tonsu and Shim like, don't do that. And I'm like, now I really should have, because we ended up making the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Like I should have just held on to my gun, just said F and keep my little year.
Yeah.
But they understood the game more, and that got me back. But when you look at those two people, and to me, it wasn't enough for them to hold the locker room down, because it just wasn't in their nature.
Yeah.
It was like, let them do what they want to do.
Yeah.
I think everything's roses when it wasn't roses.
Yeah.
And then to have that type of thing, that type of favoritism, like I had that in my high school too, because we had our one good player, but he knew what was up with us. He was like one of my best friends. But the way he led, and then when you put the favoritism in from the coaches along with him, like I remember when we had a practice over winter break, and it was like negative like 20 outside. Like all of our parents was like, "You not going to practice."
Mm-hmm.
No, Coach Lily Pitt had all of our 4 assistant coaches all drove to all of our houses, picked us all up for practice except for our one-star player.
Mm-hmm.
And we put on a practice, like a great practice. Like he was all excited, everybody excited. We got a lot of shots up after. Then we come to school the next day. He go, my best friend, like was our star player, go, I heard y'all had a bad practice.
Yeah.
What the fuck you mean we had a bad practice, bro? We just like practice out there. He just said we practiced good. And he said, just because I wasn't there, we didn't have a good practice. And I was like, and then you catch him saying it to him, and I'm like, what am I working for?
Yeah.
Because like, if that's the case and we not practicing that hard, that's a waste of my time. Same thing when it was in college. It's like, you like, practice gets you minutes.
Mm-hmm.
practice didn't give me minutes until you got frustrated and was like, all right, you threw the ball in all right, starters versus bench players. Whoever wins, start tomorrow. And then the bench players start, and then we win. Like that was stupid to me. Like it's little things like that where I don't think they understand how much they traumatized us. Like, or I'm trying to quit because I already knew my teammates didn't like me at this rate.
Yeah.
Like I'm better than him, X, Y, and Z. Like nobody knew. I walked to the locker. If you better than me, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Like shout out to my boy Jackson. Like I remember his freshman, it was rough for him. Why? Because he was a kid who was a leading scorer on his team. I understood what he wanted to do. I'm not that guy. I could fulfill that role if you want me to, but I know what I need to do when I step on the floor with those guys. So when you put 3 scorers on the floor with nobody else to take the pressure off them passing, it's never gonna work. So when I walk in and go like, I come off the bench, cool. Everybody, why you coming off the bench? Jackson suck. Jackson don't suck. Y'all just not believing in Jackson. Even my senior year. Jackson was supposed to be one of my leading scorers. Like, I needed Jackson to score. But if we're going to be in practice, you talking trash to Jackson, Jackson's not going to want to score. Or he's not going to shoot well because he's thinking about what y'all saying him over and over. And that's me as a leader always. And even with the guy in high school, like my best friend, you lead the wrong way. So when you telling them to get back on defense, like, get your bitch ass back on defense. And you like, yeah, bro, I ain't listening to you. Or now he looking at me saying, hey, now because I'm putting games together and everybody like, and that's getting to him because he like, Isaac locker room now. And it's like, I'm just hooping. Hooping for the love of it. Like, that's my thing. And if I can get us all on the same page, I'm going to try. But it's just too much when you got the coaches doing that. That's traumatizing already because it's like you're not doing enough. Yeah. And it's not, I'm not pleasing you enough. It feels like I shouldn't be sitting here trying to please you. Yeah. We're trying to win games. Yeah. If you ain't trying to win games, then I don't know what you're thinking about. Yeah. Like, and that's the biggest thing. I think my biggest thing was that Aurora game to me, my junior year. And he kept us after that damn shit. That ass whooping we took. Well, we was up 20. And then Lakeland. We was beating Lakeland by 20, and we stayed after. Yeah. And Lily was like looking at the stat line. I'm like, bro, we shot 20. The shot discrepancy, the second half was just outrageous.
Coaches be trying to manipulate situations.
Legit, had us sitting like, what's the issue? What you mean, what's the issue? We don't like each other. Yeah. That's the thing.
It's clear as day.
Like, we got guys tweeting like, I'd rather you tell me I'm playing like shit, so I know what I got to do. Don't sub-tweet me. Don't tweet about it. I don't care about you tweeting about it because you was right. We was supposed to help you. Like, probably I think it was like Tim had like 28 against Benedictine. And I'll be honest, he didn't have no help. He didn't. So he tweeted about it. I didn't care about the tweets. I'm like, yeah, I played like crap. So I'm like, I'll be better. We lose the game against Lakeland. And then once all of a sudden, all it took was one person go like, yeah, I don't think people should be tweeting about this and that. But I'm like, you just played like shit. He just played like shit. Yeah. Now we all playing like shit. We can't have this. I don't know how you want to fix it. Yeah. But that was the whole season for us. And there was always somebody on that team or on that guy's squad that was like, if I was on the floor, this would have changed. You was on the floor. Did you check how many minutes you played tonight? And we did plus and minuses. Your minuses is right up there with mine, brother. Like, we wasn't playing well.
The delusions.
Yeah, then that's the one thing that a lot of players, I feel like, in and out of Dominican, it was just a lot of delusion to me. Like, you just thought you was God giving his talent to the world, and he wasn't.
You see it beyond the schools or the teams you played for. Like, Patrick Beverly is hilarious. Yes. He is a very delusional ass player.
One delusional player.
Yeah, because like we can sit here and talk about our personal experiences and people might not be able to relate or understand what we're talking about, but just think about in real life, just listening like to other things in life. When you just at work and somebody go snitch on you to the boss and the boss come to you like, tell your side of the story. And you hear their side, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? This person told you this? Yep. That is crazy. That's not how it went. Yeah, it's in any facet of life. It's just you have those people that are extremely delusional and they live in their own little bubble.
Yeah, and for me, I think I bursted somebody's delusion before they left the team, because it was like, you ain't this, you ain't that, and don't nobody like you. Cool. So then I go, don't talk to me the rest of the season. You ain't got to say one word. Like, when I'm in the locker room, I say something to you because we on the same team. But once I step out this locker room after 4:30, don't talk to me. 7 o'clock when we on that court, I'll talk to you. But once the game, don't talk to me. Simple as that. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he quit, and everybody go like, why you being all standoffish? And I'm like, y'all ain't like me. Yeah. I never said that. And I'm like, dude, you just mad because I got in your skin because I was right. Yeah. Like, you telling me I don't care about the game, but you know our main players talking about something. If I was on the floor, you played 23 minutes tonight, 25 minutes tonight, and still got like 6 turnovers. You was on the floor with us, bro. Mm-hmm. So it's just a lot of delusion. Even with your squad, I watched that. I was just like, you had too much to just not make it that far. And I ain't gonna lie. And I remember we was trying to do like the little competition. We couldn't compare this rate. The rate we was going on, we couldn't compare to y'all. It wasn't no rate. We was just winning home game. We weren't even winning road game. At least y'all was at least sneaking something out of the road. I think the only time we all won together was the Rockford game my senior year.
Shit, we lost to Rocker before.
Yeah, and that was rough.
Our sophomore year.
Yeah, and I remember that. I remember us losing to Rockford at Dominican. And I was like, senior year, I'm like,
this is crazy.
Like, all right, we at Rockford now. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to lose this game. Like, that was my best game of the year. I think I had like 23. I'm like, yeah, we're not losing this game one way or another. And I'm like, but it just took so long for you to catch on because it was like you finally getting the guys in the locker room who understand what they can and what they can't do. And then guys who understand I could lift it to another level. Like Dennis Handy to me was Dennis was probably like our best teammate. Energy never changed for him. And that's what somebody you need in the locker room. He didn't give a hell. He played 5-10 minutes. Yeah. He just happy he out there. Yeah. And like he just want to win, bro. He hate losing just like me.
The thing about Dennis is he also wasn't trash.
That's my thing. And a lot of people don't understand that. I just hate it when you put him in rough situations. Yeah. Like, people got to come out the game when they tired. Yeah. Like, I remember I was hurt down the stretch of our, like, senior year, and I'm watching him guard some of the best players, and I'm just sitting there like, if you give Dennis, like, a good 2-minute break and put Dennis back out there, he will go back to doing what he was doing and start the game. That was frustrating, this guy. But if you just go run Dennis into the ground, he ain't going to do it no more.
And the reason why I say, because the great thing about Dennis is he wasn't trash, is because typically the ones that are very vocal, very aesthetic and hype, get the team morale up, they're not really good. Right. Like, they're just vocal leaders. That's it. You got to keep them in the leadership team.
Yeah, and everybody used to watch our games. It was when you put a certain group on the floor or a certain 5 on the floor, you watch us work, and then we never stayed together again, or you never see us again throughout the game. You like, what that unit that had like Isaac, Dennis, and Aaron out there? Like, coach don't like Aaron. Shit, I get the sporadic minutes. I remember I scored 24 in Colorado and then played the second game. And everybody texted me, like, I think his name was Rich Bodie. Bodie texted me after the game, like, why didn't you play? And I'm like, you hit 7 threes the game before. I'm like, look, bro, I already got the argument with Coach White already. It's too late.
I don't make the decisions here.
I don't make the decisions. We argued that game. He sat me out. It wasn't my choice. I came across the court to cover for somebody else. I was literally guarding the next person in front of me on the transition. Dude across the way, wide open. You just see me go, ain't nobody, fuck it, I go. Yeah. Blame me for it. And I'm like, cool, somebody closer there. So it's little things like that. It's too many delusions.
So y'all try to compete with us?
Yeah, it was like we was trying to get the wins with you, not working. I was like, they just low-key, they better than us at the rate. Like, everybody like, why they switch the boys game for the girls game? They better than us. I would rather watch us lose and go watch them win and go home. I would rather watch that too. Like, that's why the big switch was. I think it was our junior year you switched, where we was us first, then y'all. And I'm like,
I thought they just alternated every year.
Nope.
That was for a reason.
It was for a reason. I'm pretty. Had to be a reason because there was no way. My first 2 years we didn't do it.
Oh, okay.
Then junior year here we switched, and I was like, yeah, it's because we're not winning games. Well, even had a meeting to try to get our coach fired. And that was a waste of time. Yeah. Waste of time. Because the person who wanted him fired didn't give none of us no information, just like go. And we like going off what we had. And I'm like, we suck, bro. That's all this was. And it wasn't nothing else to get him fired. Yeah. And I'm like, that was a waste of our time. We sat down with all these like people. We had Donna Carroll in there. It was a lot. And I'm like, you think about want to come play back for this dude the following year? And I'm like, and I was in this meeting. I don't want to be in this meeting. Yeah. I got called into this meeting. I didn't ask to be in this meeting. I got called into this meeting. And I'm like, they like, Isaac, I want to talk to you. I want to talk to this player, this person. I'm like,
you know how awkward it is to have a meeting about wanting to get your coach fired. They ask you to come speak on their behalf of why he should be fired. And he's still there the next year.
Yeah. And then you come back and you got to play for him. Or like when I exploded in the locker room. Yeah. And I walked myself back into the gym. First person who in the gym with me is Coach White, and he goes, you could have did that better. What do you mean I could have did that better? We tried all these little meetings, tried to talk it out. Yeah. I tried talking to guys on the side. That didn't help. Yeah, at this rate, I'm tired of losing. So, and it's been 4 years of losing. I tried to quit before the season started. You ain't let me. So, here it go. All the anger I got, here you go. You can have it now. Mm-hmm. Legit. And that's the two most awkward moments of my college career was the two things that pulled me out of my character.
I wouldn't have no issues with anything I've experienced with the teammates I had at Dominican if they were respectfully athletic enough to talk shit about me. Yeah, you know, I even in high school with the ones that I grew up with playing at AAU, we were all very great players, like all D1 level players. I had none respect with the girls and their athletic abilities. If you talk shit, we just can play one-on-one. We figure it out.
Yeah.
Y'all don't even want to do that with me because you know what's going to fucking happen.
And like that was us too. Like with us, it wasn't even that. It was like, I feel like certain people, they understood their game, but I don't think they understood you're not producing right now no more. Mm-hmm. So like, I ain't gonna call no names, but we had a point guard come off the bench for us who averaged about 4 or 5 turnovers off the bench.
We had a starting point guard that averaged 20 turnovers a game.
Yeah, like we had one guard, senior guard, who just started above all of us, played through 30 minutes, and his stat line was Pat Bev 0-0-0 all across the way, and you just looking at the other people coming behind that's like producing. Yeah. And it's little things like that, and I'm like, I can't keep taking this.
Yeah.
So.
All right. I'm done talking about basketball because that stuff still makes me angry when I just start to talk about it because there's nothing you could do about the hurt people inflict on you after it's done.
Yeah, because for me, mine woke up after we left. Because like I think I played in like a couple men's league and I started getting looked at for overseas. And I was like, I could have been doing this.
Yeah.
If we just learned how to play together.
And the person that I am, I don't even. Like, I care so much about everybody's well-being. Yes. So to learn about the girl saying that she was experiencing abuse or whatever with her godmom as the coach and shit, I like, you still did shit to me. Like, I want to be angry at you, but because I care so much about all of us liberating ourselves, like, I can't even be mad, but I still have that hurt there. Like,
yeah, like that was me too. I did it in a different way. It's just like when I'm watching my guys or like freshmen, as even when I was like the junior senior, I'm like, I watched you play. I know what you got. I find a way to get it out of you, Joe, one way or another. If I got to get my way in the game and get downhill and find you, I'll find you if I got to.
Yeah.
Or if I know I got to rely on these two, well, I know they hate losing. Let me just stick myself on the defensive end. But you lose yourself along the way. And that's one thing I think I will regret was losing myself along the way.
Yeah.
Because I think I still needed to be me to help. And that's what I didn't do. And I didn't do that to my senior, and that was be me in order to start helping.
We done went an hour and 30 just talking sports.
You did? Like, I would just chop it up with you. I was like, this gonna be a long episode, T-Ray.
We ain't even talk about us as humans. Like, outside of playing sports, that's how much playing a sport take over your life. Like you can't really get to learn the other stuff you're interested in. Like, I didn't even take music serious until my senior year of high school. And so that was what I fell back on when I was having issues with basketball in high school, is I fell on music. So leading into my freshman year of college, I was putting out my first EP. Like, I was really focused on music because I lost the love and passion with basketball because of politics. So I actually started to learn so much about myself my senior year of high school, to where I didn't know that shit was fucking with me so much until I was now having to choose a college and if I wanted to continue to play basketball, because I was finally giving myself the freedom to look at other stuff that was about what I am as a person. I was experiencing, like, finally accepting that I like women my senior year of high school. So I had to figure that out shit too, and that was fucking with basketball. I was beefing with my best friend at the time. She tried to basically steal the girl that I was in love with, right? And it wasn't happening. And so we started beefing because she told the girl that I said some stuff about the girl that the girl wouldn't like. She told the girl, I learned that, and I said, we're not friends anymore. And she didn't like that. She didn't want to take accountability that she was being a bad friend. Yeah, so she was telling the coaches and shit that T is the problem now. Like, I see what y'all talking about. She the problem. You know,
she's like, I still want a girl, but like,
and she telling these people we fell out over a girl. No, we didn't, nigga. It
was a horrible friend.
You a horrible friend.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was, man. It's so much that we like. If you really dedicated to something, you spend so much of your life striving for that to where
Yep.
you kind of forget how to be human when you're done with that.
Yep.
Talk about how things was for you when senior last game, lights shut off, that's it, no more basketball.
So lights shut off. I ain't gonna lie, I felt lost for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So the first month and not even having a game, nothing, no basketball related activities, I joined the league right away.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but the funny thing is that I went back to all my friends. So everybody I played with in high school, I went back to them and we all joined the league together.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went undefeated and
Mhm.
won the league. So then I got into another league right after that. And we just started doing it like till we lose.
Yeah.
And then right before the pandemic ended,
Ended?
started. Right before the pandemic started,
Yeah.
I think we won one more game and never seen the court again. And then I
Mhm.
got offered to coach. And that's when a real whirlwind for me switched for me because
Mhm.
then it became more about my X's and O's and worry about myself and me diving into somebody else's future.
Yeah.
And I was like, my dad was a coach and I always watched him coach. So I had little stuff like keeping everybody in check. Like he don't play favoritism. I was
Yeah.
his son. God damn it. This man made me give up a whole all-star MVP in front of everybody just to give it to me privately. I
Yeah.
was like, that I'd rather just got it. Like he made my sister mad. Because like
Mhm.
my sister knew what I wanted that year, my 8th grade year. Like I was playing so hard for all-star MVP and he made me give it up.
Yeah.
So he always put that selfless part. And then my mom always kept me humble when she was alive. So she always kept me humble. But when I got to coaching, it was like, take what they did
Mhm.
and let me bring it to them. And then
Mhm.
all the coaches I did play for that I didn't like what they did,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So it was a real shell shock my first 3 games. I got my ass kicked. And then after that, the ground just started hitting the ground running. I think I won 11 games straight. No favoritism. Trying to keep that and kill it in the locker room. Whatever I could here, kill it. But for me, I stayed around basketball.
Mhm.
I had to, one way or the other. Even now, I have to stay around.
What do you want to do career-wise with yourself?
So right now, I want to be a physical. I'm in school to be a physical therapist assistant.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm almost done with that coming up this February. But I really want to coach. I'll be honest with that. If I can get to the Division I level, NBA level to coach, I want to do it.
Okay.
Because I care too much about
Yeah.
the game of basketball.
Yeah.
But also I care too much about watching somebody getting coached the wrong way.
Yeah.
Or I watch I watched Gigi little brother play.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I knew my mindset changed. Because I'm watching him play and I'm like, bro, you could do so many other things besides run this damn offense. There's some other ways we can attack than you keep running the offense. And all they doing tell you run the offense.
Mm-hmm.
But he's scoring 10 without running the offense. So
Yeah.
I'm like, he could do something different. And he's just playing within it.
Yeah.
So I just think with me, I have too much fun for it. Even with coaching. Like I'm all on the floor. I didn't got some technical fouls. That was like, oh, this is real different now. So
This is fun.
yeah, this is actually fun. Like
Yeah.
when you get to actually, as a player, I couldn't talk to the referee no kind of way. As a coach, I can't. 'Cause it's like, don't do your job shit because I can't do my job like shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one thing I just like, when I'm watching guys grow from the first day with me to the last day, like my first group of freshmen, I tell you, watching them play now,
Mm-hmm.
it's just that fulfilling aspect. It's like, oh, you did what you were supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like it clicked for them, like understanding the dedication they got to put in for them. 'Cause I don't think a lot of them understand. Like I think as you come out of 8th grade, you do so many things where your parents pay for it,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like they lose that factor. And mom paid for it. I'm gonna make the team. All right, well, when you walk yourself in high school freshman year and you got 60 other kids in there about to try out for the same team, what helps you stand out? What makes you stand out amongst them?
Mm-hmm.
What keeps you on the team as you keep getting older?
Mm-hmm.
What gets you that college scholarship? If it's D3, D2, NAIA, any of that, what helps you get there? And that's
Yeah.
what I like to see.
Yeah. One of the things that I didn't have, I wish I would have known sooner when I was trying to get myself exposure to get D1 offers is just the rise of social media and how that plays a large part. Because that's when it started, is when we were leaving high school, I
Yeah.
feel like. And so I paid, I paid for like a membership on this like recruiting thing. It got me to like a D2 offer with Post University. I went out there to Connecticut. I didn't like it. That's the highest was a D2 offer. So I'm like, damn, if I would have just posted a reel or some shit,
Yeah,
like
'cause-
something.
Yeah, because prime example. So that same combine I was telling you was in, I was like my senior year of high school. Same gym, scored about 20 each game in the little scrimmage games we had, and then the same kid who I played against didn't win one damn game.
Yeah.
He didn't play that well.
Yeah.
He got a highlight tape out.
Yeah.
And I was like, I ain't got that type of money for no highlight tape.
Yeah.
So I remember making my own highlight tape on Huddle and was like, all right, we could do it like this, but it wasn't nothing special.
Yeah, scraping whatever
You
footage
could,
somebody might have gotten on their phone from.
Yeah, I'm like, now you just looking at me just shoot threes. Now this is me picking out all my plays. And I'm like, nah. When you got somebody putting like the little things together, that intriguing part, just so they can attract you on social media.
Yeah.
And that's what I think a lot of people miss. And then even then, I do feel like social media ruined the game a little bit. Well, a little bit.
I think Steph Curry played a little bit of part in that.
Yeah, so.
Okay. Would you want for your child to play? Would you want for your boy to play?
Yes. And but for me, I'm not gonna force it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
what if a nigga want to play lacrosse?
Go ahead.
They ain't gonna like, oh, really, nigga?
Yeah, it hurt a little bit, but I ain't gonna be like, all right, we didn't play. Let's make you the best lacrosse player we can now.
All right, look at you. Great father.
Now, it's only one sport. I mean, it's no offense. He ain't playing no damn golf.
No golf?
Nope.
But you can play lacrosse?
Yep. Golf too slow. And I ain't trying
to watch that shit.
I ain't trying to walk hole to hole, bro. I'll be honest. I don't want to do 9 holes. I don't want to do 12, 18, none of it. I can't do it. That's too long.
Okay.
You got to hit one time, and 3 hours later, you hit another time? No golf.
I would love my kids to play sports just to have that discipline and shit there, but I do not want them to want to be, professional athlete if they're delusional.
Yeah. See. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now you time. Yeah. That's my thing, because I feel like that's what AAU is. It's a lot of delusional
ass parents.
Delusional parents. And I dealt with that like my last year coaching before I had to start school and stuff. So I had a kid. And I feel like in tryouts, top down talent. Like whole tryout, talking trash to people up and down the court. I'm like, they're my guard. I got my point guard. And I'm like sitting in the tryouts like, I got my point guard right there. I'm going to have to like coach his attitude, but I got my point guard. Cool. Season start. Put him on the team. First 4 games, we lose. He ain't playing like nothing I need to play. So I'm trying all these other things, and like right after that 4th game, we lost. His dad calls me and goes, I want my son to be the point guard. It's like, okay. He's like, I don't think the ball in his hands enough. And I'm like,
the one that you labeled to be the point guard, Dad?
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't think we watching the same game. So then I'm like thinking, so I called my other assistant coach, we talking about it, and I'm like, we try to draw some plays up for him. I'm like, all right. So I go in my bag, draw some plays up, run some plays. Okay. 5th game, we going against Fenwick at the time. Fenwick was undefeated. And that's I ain't gonna lie, them little boys was hooping their freshman year. Playing our butts off up and down. But every time this little boy on the floor, I couldn't get him to play no defense. And I play a 1-3-1. That's just because I had to follow what the varsity doing in terms of defensive schemes. We playing a 1-3. I put him at the tail because he could cover side to side. Kid is not playing no defense whatsoever. Go sit down. That's 5 games in a row. You playing like crap. So I put the other little kid. Now, his dad want to make it a race thing. Cool. I don't care. Gavin Fitzgerald, my little white point guard, came in that last like 5 minutes, hit 2 threes, got a steal, played the game the right way. We only lost about 1.
Yeah.
Dad gets so pissed that he walks in and goes, I want my son at the end of the game. Like, I got to talk to everybody first. So the AD stops him like, nah, let him talk to him, then you get your son. Nah, he's like, that's my son. I want my son. I'm like, cool, you can have him. I ain't going to talk to them like that because I ain't going to try to like beat them while they down like that. So I'm like, cool, they can go. All of a sudden, he goes, I could take him to Whitney Young. Taking to Whitney Young. Yeah. That's how I don't lie. I don't understand. You watching the same game we watch. I don't care who your nephew, your daddy is. I don't care if your daddy LeBron. Yeah. You playing like trash, you're not on the floor. Yeah. And that's what AAU is. That's what they do, the transferring left to right. And I feel like that's to try to find something that works for your son when your son not that. Yeah. And if you keep preaching to them that they something they're not, they don't never realize they're not that. And I feel like that was a lot of people at Dominican too. You got to tell your kids, if they suck, they suck. Yeah. Right? Yeah, that's my thing. You got to keep it honest with them. And that's my whole thing, even with him. Like, as Amaya gets older for me, I'm honest. I want to make the game and have fun, but I'm honest. You suck today. You could be better, but you suck today.
One of the narratives that I want to rewrite as far as just sports culture is going back to academics, going back and instilling that in kids early on, that your grades are extremely important. Because if basketball or football don't work out for you, it's a 1% chance that you're going to make it professionally. If that don't work out for you, you at least still have intelligence to lean on to so that you can navigate and figure out what are you outside of sports. It's a lot of dumbass athletes.
Yeah.
And with every sport today being such a business, you can't be dumb.
Yeah.
You got to have some type of intellect. So that's one of those narratives I really would love to rewrite, and I think it starts with the structures before you get to the professional level of middle school, high school, AAU programs. It starts with them saying, let me see your report card. Nah, that shit's trash. I don't believe in mediocrity. Like, we all got to be excellent. So you pushing them to be great academic wise, and you also are talking to them as if you're a school guidance counselor, and you're saying, like, where do you want to be outside of basketball?
Yeah.
And you helping them find opportunities in the communities that can help them if they want to be an engineer. Okay, well, make sure you join the robotics team when you get to high school or some shit like that. Like, that's one of the narratives I really want sports to garner and transform into, outside of just focus solely on put this reel up on Instagram for my son. This nigga just did a fucking sham guide against a 6-foot 8th grader, and we gone. Like,
right, yeah.
That can't be it.
Yeah, it can't to me, because I feel like it's a lot of disconnect, because as you get older or you find the right you find these certain programs, you're not going to play.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as you care about hooping, you ain't going to hoop.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get the grades right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, prime example, like, I think I let my grades slip coming out of high school, going into my first half of that freshman season at Dominican.
Yeah.
And that's why I respect Coach White. I mean, my X and O's might not have been his thing, but he cared about our grades.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, like, I was like, man, I'm just barely eligible. Bet I can go to Colorado. First day of practice, IE. Bro, you got like a 2.7.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you have a 3.5 in high school? I'm like, yeah. He like, not acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right, bet. Then I pick it up from there.
Yeah.
And even then, when I'm coaching now, it's just like, a lot of these kids don't understand, like, how very rare it is for you to make it that far.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, it's going to be over 100,000, maybe even like a million other kids trying to do the same thing you doing. You might not make it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to put that in a harsh way, but you got to find something to fall back on.
You got to be blunt with people, bro.
Yeah.
You're not going to make it.
Yeah, and that's why I was trying to help some kids out. Like, I had a kid who I had legit, and I remember walking in. Legit, they give me a report card every week, like a progress report every week.
Mm-hmm.
I was coaching at Pats. And one of the kids had like 3 to 4 Fs. And I was like, bro, you not playing until you get at least 1 F left.
Yeah.
I mean, school could be hard. Like, my best friend is somebody who looked at me like, yeah, college ain't for me.
Yeah.
I could take that because you understand, like, I did everything I could up until high school, and I'm not going to do it no more because this ain't for me.
Yeah.
Like, cool. You still got to put some type of effort in up until you get to you 18.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think he didn't understand. And I was like, you need to put some type of effort in. He like, I want to play in college. Yeah, not with 3 Fs.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't get 2 of those 3 up, you're not playing anything.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to see the other F. So I don't even want you around me. So get away from me until you get them up. So I take you away from the whole sport if I can.
Yep. That's when we had a conversation about Ebony K. Williams and what she was saying. That's this. Parents are the villains in your origin story. If they're not putting that discipline in the household and not letting just sports take over, or band director to raise your kids, like you have to have this level of excellence in the household. It does help for you to also have been a student that cared about academics. But, if you're not and you want your kids to now become that, you got to teach that into your kids, man.
Yeah. Also, the parent got to have that goal. Like we were saying earlier about the legacy thing. Even my brother, like, as much as I tried to be him, it's always the message was always, the real message was to be better than him.
Yeah.
Same thing with your kids. You can preach as much, you want to be like me, but your message is to make them better than what you was.
Yeah.
And that's the goal, I feel like, the whole entire goal of parenting. Like, I have done everything I could. I made mistakes. I learned from my mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
My job is to prevent the mistakes you're going to make that I made. But ultimately, I want you to be better than what I did.
Mm-hmm.
If you can make it far, great.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we was aiming for you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you didn't, Cool. What's your next plan? What's that backup plan?
Yeah.
I can't keep preaching like, oh, you're going to be the next LeBron or next going D1 and get us all out the hood. No.
Yeah. No.
You're not.
No, that's too much pressure.
Too much pressure for that. Yeah, it's too much pressure. You adding more pressure. Go have fun.
Yeah.
Bro, and let's see what life takes us from there.
I saw that Bronny is the first to graduate high school.
First one.
Or go to college. Go to college.
Because Savannah dipped with LeBron when he made it to the league in high school. Yeah. So his mom was doing community college while she was with LeBron.
Yeah.
So then it's like, I don't want that for my kid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no offense, nothing wrong with that, but like, I don't want that for my kid.
When you think about it, Bronny's the first to go to college. LeBron is arguably the second or best player of all time.
Yep.
And your child is the first to go to college. That's so embarrassing. For me, that's probably not embarrassing for them. That's embarrassing for me to say that is the generational curse that just been broke because I had to become the greatest of all time.
I mean, it helps.
Put it that way.
Yeah, because
it helps, and I think it also helps when we make it over $1 billion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to say that now.
Yeah.
Like if you was one of those like a Jordan,
just
going week like who don't care about his kids, you make sure your name, his name get out. You could tell how they act. It's just like that disconnect is right there. It's like you didn't live up to what you were supposed to do. So please do not associate my name like that around that. And that's what it looks like. Even with all the news and how they were portrayed, like even with him dating Larsa.
Yeah.
I don't hear Jordan talking about it no more. I don't hear Jordan's name. Michael Jordan was not in the article.
Yeah.
We got Bronny's name. With LeBron's name and Bronny's going to college article, I take it.
Yeah.
And it's like certain generational curse that got to be broken. But that's one I think was just pocketed because your dad went to the league in high school. And I think that's probably a topic that should came back too. Would you let guys or like the NFL or these other like leagues open it up to high schoolers? Because I just feel like there's certain guys who just colleges is not for them.
Would let people get drafted straight out of high school?
Straight out of high school again.
I don't want that.
Why? Because I was just thinking, because it's like I feel like to me it kills that disconnect. Because either you're not gonna make it at 18 or 19, but you got to do you try and test the water. Because now I feel like you have no choice now to fall back to school.
I like that they at least have to do 1 year of college.
Yeah.
Because college, if you're not going to college, you're going to be out here trying to figure out your identity because we're not focused on that in high school. We just thinking life's sweet. So you need at least that 1 year to transition into adulthood and figure out what the fuck I am without an attachment of my parents. Nobody. It's just me. I have to face myself now. And everybody needs that. And so I don't know if going straight to a league, you getting millions of dollars, you're a John Morant.
Well, now they making money regardless of where they go now.
That's good though. Because if you can make money in high school, that alleviates you feeling like you need to speed up your life.
Yeah.
You got some bread in your pocket, you give some to your mama, you cool. But I think that's good.
Yeah, and also I feel like it gives them an incentive. I can stay and still make money now. So I can get my education, finish, and then boom, I can leave. Yeah. So I like that part. I like the NIL deal because I feel like it kills the one and done thing or like straight out of high school thing for me. But I still think it could be a nice option. But that's what the G League Ignite is for. That option is like somebody who don't want to go to school, who just like, school was never for me. I just lucked up and just got here at this rate. And that's why I want to help them out too, because I feel like those are some kids who feel like they trying everything. Yeah. Just school is just not connected.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any gems you would like to drop on the pod?
Gems?
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta watch the We Got Action podcast too.
Okay.
So we out every Friday morning. So
the same time as us.
Yeah, every Friday morning with y'all.
All right, make sure y'all watch us first though.
Well, watch them first. And then when you're ready for your sports recap, you can stop on by with us. And then with us, I always tell everybody this. You don't have to watch the entire episode just because we do drop some really long episodes. But say you're an MLB person, just skip right to the MLB portion. You're an NFL portion, come right over to the NFL portion because we go right into detail with a lot of things. But also, we love interactions because that helps us dictate the next topic. So just check us out.
Okay. I'm going to have socials in the descriptions for you all to try to connect with the podcast. That's the gym, though?
Yeah, that's my gym.
Okay.
And then, remember, use it or lose it. That's the gym.
Facts. Use it or lose it.
And that's in all aspects, though. I'm serious, because as I'm in PTA school, as you're getting older, if you're not using those muscles, you ain't moving around, you start to lose it right away.
I'm feeling that.
And when you pass 30, it ain't no coming back. So it's just a decline right after that. So it's easy to use it or lose it.
My 6-year-old nephew beat me in a foot race with Crocs on. I blamed it on the Crocs, but I really felt pain in my leg, man.
What, you lost to a 6-year-old?
I lost to a 6-year-old in a foot race, bro. Use it or lose it.
Hey, you lost to a 6-year-old in the race. We got to talk about that.
If you are on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell.
Not a 6-year-old.
And if you're on your favorite streaming platform, thank you for tuning in and make sure you leave us a rating. Peace.
Just watch the damn podcast.